Welcome back to the Infinite Life Sutra. I'm your host, Angelina. So, we've completed the vow number 16, and today we'll continue with vow number 17. Okay, 我做佛时，十方世界无量刹中，无数诸佛，若不称叹我名，说我功德，国土至善者不许称觉。Okay, this phrase translated. Okay, it simply means when I become a Buddha, mm, all the Buddhas in all the 10 directions of countless Buddha worlds will praise my name and also to praise the merits of my Buddha world. Okay, that means Pure Land. Okay, if I do not, if they don't do that, I will not achieve Buddhahood. So, Amitabha Buddha is a Buddha. So that means he achieved this vow. Okay, what is the importance of this vow? Why is this vow so important? Okay, this vow is so important. It is termed as 祝佛真叹愿. Okay, it means every all the it is the praise of all Buddhas. If all Buddhas can praise him and hail him as the king of Buddhas, 佛中之王, that means this Amitabha Buddha is very special. Okay, he is extraordinary. Although all Buddhas are already extraordinary, okay, they are not like us. We are mundane. We are still mortals, okay, and we are subject to all kinds of silliness. And they have achieved wisdom, the ultimate wisdom. Okay, so what is so special about this one? The special thing about this one is that, first of all, we're talking about Amituofo. Okay, this name with 4 syllables, what does it mean, right? A is actually to say that infinite. So infinite in what? In this sutra, you hear the name, it is called the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Okay, so in the previous vow, we have also known there is infinite lifetime, infinite not lifetime, infinite lifespan, the age of it, infinite lifespan, infinite number of bodhisattva achievements, okay, infinite supernatural powers, that means you revive your powers of divine eye, divine ear, telepathy, um, and also everything infinite. Okay, you have endless. In fact, your body itself is gold color. You also have infinite prosperity, infinite riches. Okay, that is how infinite it can be. Endless. You can't count it like now we can have numbers like billions and trillions, but as a bodhisattva, the moment you reach Amitabha's Pure Land, it is infinite. Nobody can count the exact count. Okay, nobody has the ability, not a single one. Okay, so when we're talking about lifespan, we explained about lifespan, and now we're talking about Amitabha himself. That very name. Okay, when you translate it, it means infinite of this and that, infinite light. Okay, but when you look at the very phrase Amituofo, it is a calling, okay? A calling to yourself, your own infinity. Okay, that's why it is so supernatural, super power. Okay, it is so extraordinary. Okay, because when you chant Amitofo, you are not chanting external. Okay, when you chant Amituofo, you are actually chanting your internal. You're chanting yourself. You're calling out yourself. You're not calling to him. Okay, although his name is Amituofo, he is the Buddha, but his Amito, infinite light, infinite wisdom, infinite everything, is actually the very qualities of all Buddhas. All. Okay, so when you chant Amitofo, you're not just chanting to him. Okay, you're chanting to all Buddhas in all the Buddha lands. You're also chanting to all beings, including yourself, especially yourself. Okay, so when you're calling yourself, you are using yourself, okay, your ability, your natural powers to elevate yourself, okay, and that's why your own powers opens up, planted the seed, and opens up the lotus seed for you in Amitabha's Pure Land. Okay, the Pure Land itself is just a venue, a place, a location, a university for you to be able to continue your studies as a bodhisattva to become a Buddha. But when you call upon yourself, Amituofo, 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 you do that continuously, you are actually calling yourself. And that moment when you are no different from Amitabha Buddha, okay, it can be achieved. Okay, because he is a Buddha, you are also naturally a Buddha. Always remember, you are what you are today, all because of mortal knowledge. Okay? If you discard all those layers, okay, layers of mortal knowledge, for example, the knowledge of manufacturing, the knowledge, the knowledge that you learn from school, okay? You are being taught how manufacturing works, for example. But actually, even if you are not taught how manufacturing works, if you use your natural abilities, you can also think of how it works very naturally. Okay? But what are schools? What are mundane, all these mortal learnings? Okay? What are schools? They are just collecting all the past incidences to make them into theories, to make them into studies, instead of having an original thought about what things are. That's why science today, they can examine things that have already happened. Okay, things that have happened, even if you talk about the space and science exploration, space exploration and everything. Okay, it is still things that have already happened. It is not something that you conjure out of nothing and it becomes something that you have never seen before. Okay? It is not that way. What they tell you about the black hole, about the supernova, okay, about the rotations, about the different universes, the planets, the things that are inside each planet. There are things that are already there and they go and examine it. And then when they examine it, they call it discovery. But actually, that thing is naturally there. Nobody discovered anything. Agree? Because you only saw it. You only went to look at it. Did it happen because you were creating it? No. Okay? So science will never be able to find out or figure out how this universe is created. Because science can only test based on what happened, the past tense. Okay, they examine what already happened. It's an observation, and so there are a lot of all these schools and whatnot. I've been a communications person for the past 20 over years, and I can honestly tell you, all those tactics that I learned in school, right? They are just some theories. Okay, but the practical of it very often the practical of it is such that you label it psychology, you label it all kinds of things, but the real thing, okay, whether the brand is a successful brand or not, it all depends on its owner. Okay, the what's the owner's dependence? It depends on the karma of the owner. If the owner is destined that this business will bring him fortune, then this business it will be. If he is destined to have other businesses bringing him fortune, that's how other businesses that he indulged in will grow. Okay, if we take a very modern example of Jack Ma, right? His karma, his fortune is actually to be an entrepreneur and not somebody working for other people. Okay, you have heard how he got rejected even by KFC, right? If somebody can be rejected by KFC, doesn't mean that this person is really worthless, really useless. Not at all, right? It's just that his karma determines that he should not be working for other people. And that's why when he started his company, despite all the hardship, he had no other choices. Nobody will hire him. So he had to do his own business. And he became the Jack Ma, the Alibaba founder, right? So it all depends on the person's karma. No matter what kind of all the other things like the marketing and the branding, everything are just tools. Okay? Tools to spread the word out to let them know that, hey, this guy's karma is right. His time is right. So he is here to reap his fortune. That's all. Okay? So you have to, if you have not learned Buddhism, if you don't know metaphysics, if you have never understood karma, then you'll be wondering why some people can excel and some people will fail, even in the same profession, even in the same way of promotion, even doing the same things, the exact same things, but two people will have different fortunes, right? So that's why um it is something that is very hard for you to ask science to show it to you. Because science cannot measure what goes on in your past life. Science is not capable of doing that. So that's why you can only see if you understand karma. And how do you understand karma? By becoming somebody who realizes that karma is real. Okay, a lot of people will just say that karma is real, but they don't realize that karma is really real. Okay, how real is karma? You can just sit in meditation. Okay, if let's say you're interested to become really versed in karma, very simple. Sit in meditation. Okay, sit in meditation and you will realize when you meditate, you're not supposed to move, you're not supposed to judge, you're not supposed to think of anything, you're only an observer. Now you become the science. Okay, when you become the science, you sit and observe. You observe when the moment when you sit, okay, how the elements of your body interact with each other. Okay, you can observe the breathing of your abdominal. Okay, so when you breathe in, your abdomen will actually inflate, and when you exhale, it deflates, right? So you concentrate on the moving up and the moving down, the inflate and the deflate of your stomach. Okay, your tummy goes in, your tummy goes out based on every breath that you take, and then eventually, all of a sudden, you will start feeling the numbness on your leg, right? Those things that feel like numb, and then after that, the ants crawling, that kind of feeling when your blood is actually trying to rush through. And then eventually, don't move at all, ignore it totally, it will normalize. Your body normalizes. Okay, this is how nature works. This is how nature actually works, and you have that ability because you are also part of nature. Okay, but now you have forgotten because you think that everything will have to be elevated, everything will have to have an external solution. Okay, that's why if you were to look at most of the um, meditators, especially real monks, okay, I'm not talking about bogus monks, real monks who are in practice, they don't have illnesses, they don't get sick so easily because they know, they observe it long enough, that sickness goes away. Okay, they know if let's say the sickness does not go away, it is part of the karma, they just accept it. And for those, there are a lot of documented cases about Amitabha Buddha. Okay, those who have been diagnosed with terminal illness. Okay, they understand that it is about karma, they let go of their body entirely, and then they just concentrate with Amitabha chanting. So they sit and chant Amituofo, 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 all the while not bothered about this body, because to them this body is already ill, right? Terminally ill. So they have no choice but to release it. So if you have no choice but to release it, then you become like everything else does not matter at all. All you care about is Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha, please bring me to your pure land. And then the concentration becomes intense and Amitabha, 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 to the point that Amitabha comes and collects this person. And sometimes the strange things happen is that the terminal illness cures itself. Okay? Natural healing. You don't need external parties, you don't need medication, you don't need an outside force to heal you. Okay? That is something that science cannot really understand. Okay? But it is still based on the observation by science. Back to Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiment. Okay? When you chant Amituofo, 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 what can be better than the Buddha himself? Right? So when you chant Amituofo, 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 you make connections with Amitabha Buddha. You make connections with yourself. You becoming Amitabha Buddha. If you become Amitabha Buddha, his perfection, do you think that you will still be ill? No, right? Even if you say that the Hawaiian style, okay? Ho'onoponopono. It goes like with a meditation that says, I'm sorry and I've mistreated you all this while. Say it to the body. Okay? I'm sorry that I've mistreated you. Please forgive me. Okay? Thank you for accepting my apology and I love you very much. If you keep repeating this, okay, there's documented doctor, I can't remember his name off just like that, but he had managed to cure patients remotely using this Hawaii method. Okay, the native Hawaii method. Okay, by the natives, they understood the relationship between nature and being, so it works. Okay, and science cannot really understand it. Science only observe. Like Masaru Emoto, he observed how water behaved in relation to different words. The good words, then they become really beautiful. The bad words, then they become yucky and ugly. Okay, the molecules of the water. So, knowing this, all right, it is our responsibility to maintain positivity within ourselves. Okay, the positivity is not about I want more money, I want more of this, I want more of that. No, the positivity is that I am responsible for everything that is around me. So therefore, I'm able to create my own environment. Okay, so I want my environment to become beautiful. I want it to be something that is perfect, that is always wonderful. I want love in my environment. I want compassion within the environment. I want honesty. So I give honesty, I give compassion, I give love to everyone. So that's how it grows within yourself, without yourself, okay, outside of yourself, throughout the entire of your universe. How far is your influence depends on how great your heart is. Amitabha Buddha, he has a huge, humongous, infinite heart. Okay, so the greatness of his heart has created the 48 vows. He made it easy for us to go to Pure Land, and he made it easy for us, so easy for us to have access to so many different things. So when you chant Amitabha Buddha, you are chanting yourself, and this is why his vastness. Okay, in earlier talks I have described there is no in the first vow there is no lower realms of existence in Pure Land, right? So that means there is only what seemingly like human or higher beings. In fact, the human being itself is without a physical body, so there is no constraint. and everyone looked exactly like him with a golden body with the 32 perfections of the physical features. Okay, so that's why all Buddhas praise Amitabha Buddha. If all Buddhas with all their wisdom they can praise somebody, it means this person is a great person. Okay, and when they call Bo Zhongzi Wang the king of all Buddhas, they all agree that he is the king of all Buddhas. That means he is the king of all Buddhas. Okay, despite all their wisdom and everything is perfect. You're talking about perfection here. There is no better perfection or lesser perfection. No such thing. All are equal perfection. Everything is already perfect. It's an enlightenment. Total perfect enlightenment. So his wisdom is no lesser than another's wisdom, another Buddha's wisdom. So his wisdom being equal to all other Buddhas' wisdom, but they call him the king of Buddhas because his will is greater than other Buddhas. Okay, the other Buddhas, you look at our Buddha world. Okay, we have the six realms of existence, we have the four other saint realms, and so there are 10 layers altogether. It takes a long time for us to become Buddhas, but at Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, his migration reaches to all Buddha worlds in all the 10 directions. Okay, that far. Ours is just within our world, right? So his vastness, okay, his reach and his generosity, okay, endowing all the people who migrates to his land, whether even if you are one from hell realm, okay, you no longer suffer because there's no hell in Pure Land. So yeah, it's possible. Okay, if in hell, but the chances are very low. If in hell there is somebody who even thought about Amitabha Buddha and follows the 48 vows and whatnot, has the potential to become a Buddha, okay, jump into Pure Land instead of staying in hell. But that is very rare because the karma of a lower being is usually not going to allow him or her to have that fortune to be able to hear the Dharma talks. Okay, even if they do hear, it provides them a temporary relief, but it is not that kind that will allow them to believe and to go to Pure Land. Okay, Pure Land Buddhism, Amitabha's teachings is said to be something that is easy to execute but hard to believe. Okay, the very first step to this is actually your ability to believe that there is Amitabha Buddha, there is Pure Land, and there is a very simple way of achieving this just by chanting Amitabha's name sincerely and letting go of everything else. Okay, if you believe in it 100%, okay, not a single doubt, you can achieve it. It's so easy. But the difficult part is about you believing in it. That's why my channel has very low um, subscription followers because it's hard for people to believe. But when the karma is right, you will automatically reach my channel and become my follower. Keep on subscribing and listening to the Dharma talks. Okay, so we've spoken about this particular vow 24 minutes now, so we shall continue the next one in another episode. Okay, so we shall meet again soon. Bye bye. Chant Amituofo. See you.